Welcome to the Redneck University Podcast. My name is Cash Shreeves. I do like. I decided to start this podcast up, and bring it into the new year because I do like a lot of country music, and I've decided to start bringing other people on that also enjoy my same interests, and so yeah, let's get into it. So this guest today, he doesn't need no introduction, but I'm gonna give him one anyway. He can lay down them bass lines all the way from Vegas to Texas, and or play that old nylon string like Willie himself. Nicknames, Baby Willie, or Mr. Aiden Stobaugh. Welcome to the Redneck University Podcast.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you having me on, Cash. It is a true pleasure to be the first episode of this.
Yeah.
It means a lot. So I know we've been trying to get this figured out for probably a few months now, since November. You've been talking about wanting to do this podcast, so I'm glad to be on. And I know that you've been talking about Caden and other people that you've been wanting to get on, and I think I'm all here for it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad to be on. So thank you for having me, Cash.
No problem, man. You're welcome. Here. All right. So, first question is, what was it like growing up in the Lone Star State, if you did grow up there? Um, 'Cause you
well, I
never
did
know.
grow. I did grow up here. I did grow. I'm from Hillsboro, Texas, which is it's about an hour and 20 minutes south of Dallas, and there's this little lake that is west of Hillsboro called Lake Whitney, and I just grew up right outside of there, on about 100 acres, and I lived there till I was 10 years old, and I enjoyed it. From age 0 to 10, a lot of my life was rural living. I was out there helping my dad run cattle and just watching. Not helping too much. Maybe when I was 9 or 10 years old, I did, but and then when I turned 10, my mom got a job at SMU, Southern Methodist University, in Dallas, and we moved up there. And so, from age 0 to 10, I would say I did get a true Texas, education. Working on the farm and uh, just down home country living. And that's kind of where my first, introduction to country music came along, was out there. My grandfather, uh, he started me real early on Hank Williams and people like that. So that was my first introduction. And then later on, I gained a more appreciation for it. So I think that Texas is a big part of my identity, and growing up here, it has shaped me into who I am today.
Yeah,
So that's what it's been like.
that's awesome. You know, I do plan on moving there after I get out of high school, and like because do I love the Midwest? Yes, but there ain't nothing wrong with old Texas.
Oh, for sure. There's nothing wrong, and in fact, I think it's a hub, for country music, that is sticking the finger to Nashville, because, I mean, it always has been that way, and I feel like it needs to stay that way, and I truly do enjoy playing music in Texas. So you need to get your ass down here, Cash.
Hell, I went down there to see Willie when I turned 17, and I was about 20 foot from the stage. Went down there, and we've been talking about this. Me and my mama, my family, we've been talking about this for a little bit, and I was like, one of my dreams of my life before it's too late is to see one of the highwaymen before they pass. And I decided I wanted to see Waylon. Too late. Johnny, too late. Was named after him, but too late. Chris, rest in peace. Still doesn't believe it. Don't believe it's real. But old Willie, we thought, and she was looking at shows and that, and either Wisconsin, Orlando, or Austin, or
Yeah.
or it's New Braunfels? Yeah, New Braunfels.
New Braunfels.
New
New
Braunfels.
Braunfels.
Braunfels. My bad. But anyhow, not good on the pronunciations. English ain't my first language. It's Redneck University, boys. Hell.
Fuck yeah.
But but it was one hell of a show and an experience that I will cherish for the rest of my life. You know.
So you went to New Braunfels and saw Willie Nelson.
Uh-huh.
And when was this, Cash? What year?
Oh, hey, last year?
Was it at the Whitewater Amphitheater?
Yes, it was.
I was at that show, Cash.
Holy shit, you were?
I was at that show.
I didn't know
That is
that. What the
funny.
fuck?
I was at that show.
Well, damn.
My friend, his name's Topher, and he passed out because he's a diabetic, and he also has vertigo, which is like you get real dizzy real quick. And so Willie didn't even notice. We were standing pretty close there, and he was right there, and everyone was saying stop. I don't think it was a big commotion, but it was funny. But yes, I was at that show at the Whitewater Amphitheater. I remember the line. There was one road in and one road out, and it was, hilly, and it was hard to find parking.
Oh, damn straight, damn straight. We parked out there, like, oh, it was very hard to find parking, but we went inside and there was a bunch of cops in cowboy hats, which is, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
a custom for down there where you're at. But it was awesome. And when I went in there, funny story actually. So I went in there and obviously I'm underage and they don't want underage people drinking, which regardless, there's probably going to be a million people doing it. Anyhow, so they put the Texas stars on my hand, or stars of Texas on my hand, like crosses, and I did the Star of Texas. Mom got a picture of it and sent it to my dad, and he was just laughing his ass off. you know.
Well, I wish I would have known that you were at that show because I would have come say hi.
But hell, at least we'll get to say hi to each other in June, if you know what I mean. Old ties.
Oh yeah.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah. We'll be there. We'll be there. So, well, what's up?
Well, what you been up to?
Not much. I just had dinner and
Same.
with my grandmother and mom and dad,
Oh,
and
that's sweet.
it was fun. And now I'm back on Cash Shreeves Redneck University Podcast. Y'all.
Yeah, there you go. So, you kind of already touched on this, but I knew your grandpa introduced you to Hank Sr., all those
Yeah.
guys. But, well, what music did you, well, that's kind of redundant because you just answered it, but, like, what kind of threw you into it other than your grandpa, if you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So that was my first introduction to music. Was my grandfather, him playing that or country music. But I really didn't give it any attention until I was about 15 years old, and it was 2020, and it was during COVID, and my friend Jr., who lives up in Iowa, he's going to Grinnell College out there. He plays football, and he's a good old boy. He loves his country music, and he showed me Willie, the Highwaymen, Johnny Cash, all these different guys that I had never even given any thought, at all, really. And I was like, damn, those guys are good. That's good music.
Yeah, yeah.
And from then on out, I picked up a guitar and just went at it. I just started picking and singing. And eventually I got pretty good. And so it's all JR. That's what I tell him every time I see him is, I wouldn't be picking music if it weren't for you, brother.
There you
And
go.
that's because he was just so formative in playing me this stuff and forcing it down my throat. No, 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 but I did enjoy it. So yeah, that's it. That's it right there.
There you go. So, what? So obviously you were talking on about like starting picking and singing, and it was COVID. What like prompted you to start posting in singing on TikTok, and like, what was your first live like if you went live then?
Yeah, yeah. So the first thing I did on TikTok, I think I just, let's go look at my. Jacob Rogers is calling my phone. What's new?
Oh boy, we we
Yeah,
we
Jacob.
ain't we ain't getting into that.
We ain't getting into that yet. We may have to. Let's see. I'm gonna go into my TikTok here,
Yeah.
and I'm going to look at my oldest video
For
and
me,
see
it
what was
only
the first.
for me it only says you got like 3 videos up there, cause you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 45, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn! I posted 80 videos
Damn.
and I took them all down. Um,
I'm
and
gonna
I
be.
just listen. I'm gonna tell the people right now that the reason that I took these videos down is because it's not who I am now. I listen to the old stuff, and it's just for me, it's corny. It's cringy, and I get it that other
Oh
people
yeah. Oh
enjoy it, but I listen back to my voice and I listen to me sing now, and I'm like, it's two completely different people,
yes,
and
entirely.
part of me is like, I kind of want to hide this, and so just because it's not who I am now,
Yeah.
you know, and so it just reminds me of something that was not fully developed, and I don't know if I want to release all of this to the public, even though this one 125,000 views, 75,000, 50,000, 165,000, 770,000, 137,000. I had big fucking hot shot hits,
Yeah.
and it just I need to get back on TikTok. I was thinking about it today. I was like, damn it, why haven't I been posting? This is the perfect time to do it. And I think I'm gonna start again. I think this is a
Hell
chapter of
yeah.
a new page. Being on this podcast, it feels good to do something music oriented. That's not just being a backing man for Ty Stelk, but you know, getting your own solo thing going again. So,
Now
but to answer your question about the lives, sorry to interrupt you there,
you're good.
but I
I
think it's
interrupted you
important
again.
because you do lives. It's important because you do lives and you're trying to be an artist too, And so,
Keyword trying.
well, I think you're doing a good job,
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it's all about what when first went live, I just was like, man, I'm gonna play this music because I love to play it, and if people come, they come, and if they don't, they don't, you know. And I was always very level-headed and grounded at if I was good or not, if what I was putting out was what people wanted to hear. Um, and so it wasn't at first. I didn't. It was an Some people will watch it, and I was, some people would watch it, but it took me how many videos till I got a big one? Let's see here. There's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. My 15th video was the one that got 500,000 views.
Hmm.
So
Well, dang.
it didn't start good. TikTok was something that I had to work at, and put out. I put out a few songs. Let's see. I put out. That's 524, 526, 527, 527, 527. Hell, I put out 4 or 5 videos on the same damn day,
Damn. That's dedication
and
right there, boys.
it's just man, I didn't know it was that much. But there was about 2 months in the summer there I put out my first videos, and then I waited, and I put out a few more, and then that's when they started doing good. Was in August, but I first put them out in May. So it took 3 months of practice and playing seriously and trying to be good to get it something down. And that's when I started doing lives. I wasn't doing lives till my stuff started doing good.
There you go.
And but I truly believe that I grew my account to how big it is, 40,000, because of the live show I put on.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't the TikToks that did it. It was me being on live every night and giving something someone to dance to, or something someone, just putting out good music. And so that's what I really focused on, was my craft and making sure that I was up to par with the other big hitters on TikTok, like Alex Miller or Jody Silvers.
Sorry to interrupt, but speaking of Alex Miller, Mom went down to Springfield for Fairboard, our local Fairboard and FFA and all that, for concerts and that, like to get everything sorted with the rodeo and all that, and like Justin Moore's coming, so, or I think, but wait, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'll edit that. But anyhow, but Mom did see Alex Miller uh, last weekend, so or
Well, there you go.
Saturday night or so.
And he's a good old boy.
Oh yeah,
He's
he
always
is.
been very supportive of me, and he has called me, and we've hung out before. Hell, I opened his show 2.5 years ago when I was,
Whoa, dang!
and I don't know if you knew that, but
No, I did not.
that was fun. And so it's just he flew me out to Nashville for it. Can you believe that?
Damn.
And so that was something where he showed his confidence in me, and it was a fun damn time. He's a good hangout, and he had his band to back me, which was
Whoa.
pretty cool because I didn't have a band. So he's like, "They're gonna play with you." I was like, "All right, Alex, shit," So
Don't
he's a
mess up,
nice
boy.
guy. He, I know it. Oh hell, and it was fun though, and so it's just little things like that where TikTok has really helped me as an artist, and hell, that's the only thing I got to my name, is that I was a TikTok guy, and so I'm proud of it. That's our generation's thing.
Yeah.
So
So, going back on the views and all that, um, what was your reaction to when you got that 1.2 million Folsom Solo video?
man, that blew up in 30 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah, it was you knew it right from the start. And so I was with my buddy Barrett, who is
Oh yeah.
my bass player, and he's still a good friend. I was just over and down in Austin, staying at his apartment, and we had one big time out there. It was fun. But Barrett was my bass player. He's not anymore because he lives in a different city. But anytime I get my high school buddies together, we have Barrett on bass because I'm singing the lead. And so I'm like, Barrett, this is when I'm doing good on TikTok. You know, I'm doing good. This is my prime. I'm like, Barrett, let's do a little Folsom video. Because if you didn't know, that's the first stuff that I started picking. Uh, Maybe I'll tell this story. I don't know if it's something that I want to tell, but I don't think it's for tape. But I ended up getting this big old stand-up bass for Barrett. And you could see him playing it in that video, and that's part of the reason why people loved that video, is because there's that doom doom doom, that Marshall Grant stuff.
Yeah.
So I got this miraculously. I somehow came up with this bass, and they're expensive, man. And I gave it to Barrett as a gift, and he learned that damn thing. That's the first. That's the way he learned. That is the way he learned to play bass, was on a stand-up bass. Can you fucking believe that? Most people will learn on an electric bass, but he learned it on a stand-up,
What the?
and he got yeah, and he got good at it. And so I think that's truly has held him back as a musician, because he can't play that electric bass for crap, but he can play that stand-up, and so he learned how to do it, and I said, we're going to do this Folsom solo because we've, done it 1,000 times. Uh, and he said, okay, let's do it. So we cranked that video out. My friend Topher, who I told you about, was at that concert. I said, Topher, you're going to video us, and do a good video. I remember saying, get down on my guitar neck and angle it so you can, it gives it some oomph, like it's a fun, fast video. And I was like, okay, I did it. We did it. One take. One take.
What?
And I was, yeah, one take. And I was like, all right, that's good enough, man. That sounds damn good. I cut it, posted it. We went and, maybe smoked a joint or something,
Oh
drank a
shit!
beer.
I'm gonna have to cut that out.
And we came back, and that shit had 30,000 views, and I was like, damn, man, damn, that's going quick. And we were like, okay, well, let's go do something else. Went back out there, came back, 100K, and I was like, oh shit, man,
Here we
this is
go.
a hit. Yeah, I was like, get on the saddle, we're gonna ride this to fucking Timbuktu, baby. And
Yeah.
I sure did. I was hitting the lives, and I was in that creator fund. So
You were?
1.3 million views in the creator fund is about $1,500. So boy, did I get a big paycheck off that 30-second video. I got a big paycheck, and so it's just little things like that video. That's what I have to my name. That was my big record. And it's just things like that. It's a different generation, and it's I need to ignite this flame, because I'm a lot better than when I was 2 years ago, and I just am waiting for the right opportunity to go back solo.
Yeah.
So that's what that video means to me.
There you go. I mean, hell, go support this guy go support this guy. So, like, tell him Cash sent you, because he deserves it tenfold, and he's one hell of a buddy. So.
I appreciate that, Cash.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Hell, if you won't, I know you're trying to go back solo, but to get back in there, me and you hop on a live house.
One of these days, we're gonna do it. I promise you. Okay?
There you go.
We're gonna do it.
Anyhow, so going back on your kind of Jody Silvers and Alex Miller and all them artists, Jody
Yeah.
needs to come back. But anyhow, so
Couldn't agree more.
but anyhow, what was the first artist you worked with? Like,
That's a great question. Let me try to think here. The first artist I ever worked with. Are you talking about on TikTok? Are you talking about in real life? What do you mean?
in general, like
In
either-
general, the first artist that I ever cooped up with was a young fellow who is a good old boy. He lives up in New Hampshire, and his name is Caden Chasson. And that is the first guy that I ever met on TikTok as a musician. That is him. That is, for TikTok, that is who I met first. Now, Barrett Self would be the first other musician that I worked with. I don't know if you can call him a musician. But we learned music together. That is my blood brother musician. I taught him everything he knows on that bass. And hell, he taught me something on guitar. We did that together. And so that's who I learned music with. That was my music partner, was Barrett. We would learn together, and we would play together in his garage for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And so that's kind of my first musician experience. Now, the first real deal IRL musician that ever reached out to me was a guy named Bryson Davis, and you can still find him on my TikTok, I'm pretty sure, of me doing a song called Jambalaya, Hank Sr. song. He's on the fiddle. And I was a freshman at SMU in Dallas, and I just started my freshman semester, first semester, and Bryson called me. He said, man, or he DM'd me on TikTok, and he said, man, give me your number. I'm going to call you. And he called me, and he said, I see you have the ambition. I see that you want to do this. Come out to Albany, Texas, and let's pick a little. And so I was like, okay, like, we'll see. I put that off for a bit, and then I finally met up with him a few weeks later, and we picked, and that was my first real musician experience of being with another guy who was just as good as me on a different instrument. And so he's a mentor for me, Bryson. He we called today for a good 30 minutes, just before dinner, right after I we did our sound check. And he was telling me about how you gotta let your nuts hang on the stage, Aiden. You gotta be Aiden mother frickin' Stobaugh, And so that's kind of who he is and what he means to me, and he still means a lot to me. I still keep in touch with Bryson, and I imagine that's a friendship I'll have for the rest of my life. I hope
He killed that fiddle part, man.
so.
You both did. That was hella fun.
He's one of the best musicians, one of the best fiddlers I have heard in all my years. He is one of the best. So,
Yep.
and a great guy. Y'all go check out the Davis Brothers band and the Damn Quails. That's who he's playing with. So,
Uh, so, speaking of artists working with, what artists or multitude of artists are you looking to work with in this year?
well, we're going to be doing some work with Hudson Westbrook. We're going to be opening a few shows for him. We're going to be in Hell, we're going to be close to you. We're going to be in Madison, Wisconsin. We're going to be in St. Louis, Missouri. And we're going to be in, where's that other show? Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Yeah, that's close.
And we're going to be playing those three shows. That's coming up February 7th. We're going to be opening for Hudson and his band. And those will be sold out. They're already sold out. And it'll be in front of 10,000 people at each one of those shows. So that's going to be something to look
Damn.
forward to. That is, those are arena shows, so we're sticking it heavy at the start of the year in February. I've got those three shows, so that'll be fun with Hudson. It's always a time with his crew. He and his crew are the best. They are so fun spirited and they're good guys. So I always enjoy that. I think we're going to be doing some work with Coulter Wall. We're going to be
Oh,
open. We're going to be opening a festival for him. We're going to be working with Ella Langley. Um,
what?
we're going to be working with Zach Top. We're going to
What?
be working. Yeah, we're on festivals with all of these guys. Me, Tice Delk. We're
Yeah.
we're playing opening for these people
Oh,
at
yeah.
these festivals.
I've seen a lot of them on your stories. Oh,
Rock
that's
the
awesome.
Country. We're playing some Troubadour Festival. We're playing up in Montana with Gavin Adcock and Braxton Keith. So we're sticking it heavy. We're playing with all these big name acts, and that's what I'm really focused on. Is that this is going to be the year for me that I get to play with the biggest names in country music, and to say that I have, played on the same show as them is a bucket list thing for me. And hell, if I just play this summer, get these festivals done, and that's it, hell, that's good enough for me. I think I have, you know, done the everything I wanted to do, and I can say, hey, I was a part of that scene. I played on these shows too. I was there. I lived it. And even if it was for a short time, if I don't make it past the summer with Tice or whatever, I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I think I'm very happy with where I'm at, and I'm really enjoying it. But if that were the case, I'd be, satisfied to say I've paid my dues, I've played my shows, and I could go live a normal life now.
Mm,
So,
I mean, hell,
but
if
yeah,
you and Tice don't work out, I got a spot for you.
oh well, I appreciate that, Cash.
Yeah,
I'm always looking for something new, and I think that I think I'll be with Tice till I'll be with Tice,
yeah,
and then I'll go on to something new, and that's life.
yeah.
I'm never I never kind of stay in one place. I'm always moving, and so I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't have a crystal ball. All I can do is fly by the seat of my pants, and so I'm working with some big names this year, and I'm damn excited. The biggest names in country music. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's true.
I'm proud of you.
And I just can't believe it, and I'm excited, but I damn wish it was 50 years ago with Willie and Waylon and those fellas,
Yep.
and not Ella Langley and Zach Top. But what can you do? You can only take what you're dealt.
Yep.
So,
Um, but speaking of, I know you mentioned Tice and all that, but
yeah.
uh, How did you meet Tice and get hired as a bass player? Because as soon as you told me I was just minding my own business, watering flowers, and we were DMing on TikTok because we didn't have other contact. And you're like, dude, I got some big news. I just got hired as a bass player by Tice. I'm like, what the hell? I was so proud of you. But, so how did you and him meet and that come to fruition?
That's a good question. So, about 2 years ago, um, I guess it was about a year and a half ago. It was the summer of 2024. Um, I went out to Lubbock, Texas, because I had been on TikTok, and in about spring of 2024, I was on live and I met Tice, and Tice and his friend Owen. They were playing on TikTok live too,
Wait,
and
what?
Owen is a harmonica player, and he heard me playing Willie Nelson, and he loves Willie, and so I got to talking with Owen, and then he's like, "Well, we're going live on TikTok, Tice and I was like, "Hell, okay." And Owen and Tice were roommates, and so I went and joined them for a live and did that. We had a big grand time. It was so much fun. And we played some good music, and I was close with them ever for those 3 months, and then finally Tice was like, "Hey, man, come out to Lubbock, Texas, and come stay with us for a night, and come to Cotton Fest, which is their big summer festival that they do with big names. That year it was Red Clay Strays,
Oh,
Treaty
hell
Oak
yeah.
Revival,
Yeah.
um, some other people that I don't quite remember, but that means it was a great grand time, you know. And so I did that. I went out there. I met Owen. I met Tice. I met Sam, who was Tice's other roommate, and he'll come into the story here later in just a second. But so that's how I first met Tice. I went out there. I met him, and it was fun, and I just had a great time. And then fast forward a year, from July of 2024. Um, well, not a year. It would have been uh, it would have been a month. Okay, so after that, a month later, Tice calls me and he says, "Hey, I'm in Fort Worth." So this is August 2024. And he says, "I'm in Fort Worth. Come out and pick with me." And I said, "Okay, I'm gonna come." I went out there, drove 45 minutes to Fort Worth. We spent the afternoon in Fort Worth at some park. There's a video of us doing a Hank Senior song
Honky
on
Tonk
my
Blues.
page. Yeah, that's where that took place. Me and Tice did that. We went out to Chili's, which is a Mexican restaurant here, and then that was it. I dropped him off where his girlfriend was living at the time, at her apartment, and I left. I went back to Dallas, and I didn't talk to Tice for a year.
Damn.
Not because I didn't not like him or whatever, but just because we were doing our own thing, and I wasn't too focused on music at that point. That, if you notice, that's the last video I've posted. You know.
Oh, yeah.
And so that I haven't posted since then, or I posted one, but I took that down. Anyways, so I hadn't talked to Tice for a year, but I had sent him a video right after that picking session that we did for the Honky Tonk Blues of me playing that upright bass. That it was Barrett's. I just sent him a little funny video, and he saved it on his phone or whatever, and then a year goes by, and I'm seeing Tice. I first remember this past summer, about July. I was in Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri, and I see this thing called Tratter House. I'm like, what the hell is? I go, what the hell is this? You know, and Tice says, I text Tice. I'm like, what the hell is this? And he's like, man, I'm signed to this little artist deal, and I was like, damn cool, like awesome. And I had texted him. I'd be like, Adeline, which is a song that me and him, you know, kind of I didn't write Adeline, but I was one of the first ones to hear it live. I was the one when I was out in Lubbock that first time, and so that song was blowing up from Tracker House and Tice, and I was like, damn, okay, this is pretty cool. And so I texted him in July. I said, hey, this is going big. Like, you're doing good, man. This is awesome. And he's like, "Yeah, man, it's going great." And I said, "Okay, this is awesome. I'll talk to you later, man. I wish you all the best." And a month goes by, and I text him, and I'm like, "Hey, do you have a band?" That's all I said. I said, "Hey, do you have a band?" And he texted me, I'm putting one together right now. I have a drummer. I'm looking for a bassist and a guitar player. Do you know anyone?" That's what he told me. And I was like, "Oh man, I can play bass." That's what I texted him, and he goes, "Well, he first said, can't you play bass? Don't you have that big stand up bass that you can play?" And I was like, "I can't play that bass on stage. That I'm not good enough. But I can play an electric bass." That's how it went. And he's like, "Well, send me a video." And so I put on some Waylon Jennings. I'll send you these clips. I still have these videos so you can play it for these viewers. Well, I guess it's not video, but you can still play the audio of me playing. And he was like, "You're hired." He's like,
What?
"You're damn good." Just like I sent him a video, he goes, "You're hired." And his dad, who is a big musician, he plays with the Delk Band. They're very famous in New Mexico. They play honky tonk music and dance halls for thousands of people. And Tice is a fourth generation musician, and so he has a big name to live up to in New Mexico. And so, anyways, his dad is the real deal. And so his dad was not confident in me at first. He told me this. He was like, "Tice, what are you doing hiring someone off a video? Damn it, you haven't even seen." And I was and so I worked my ass off, man. Because we went on the road in September and it was August, so I had about 20-30 days to get these songs down, and boy did I freaking do it. And so that is how I got hired and into this band. That's the whole story. Is it was that simple. It wasn't anything too serious. It just was you're hired off a video. So
That's awesome.
yep.
Speaking of Adeline, I sent you a little clip just sitting in my truck blaring it.
I saw
Dude,
that. I
like
saw that.
it's all like his whole EP, boys. All y'all listen to it, please. It's so good. Like I was like after a bad day at work, I'm like, all right, throw on Tice, and then it's skyrocketed from there, and he's doing so well, and y'all are doing so damn well playing all these sold out shows and all that, and I'm proud of y'all. And Tice actually, well, I'm not sure if it was his wife or not, but she liked it because I did a thing of the time song of the days, which I would just post like
Yeah.
a little clip of me putting a song on in my truck and then putting the song with the TikTok. And
Right.
I put Adeline and I think also as long as I got you, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then his wife liked it. I'm pretty sure.
Well, good deal.
Yeah.
Cortland is his wife, and she is a very nice lady. She gets along. She travels with the band, and so we've been traveling in this little van. Okay, it's a Ford Sprinter, and it carries about 15, 16 people, and so we've been having that packed full to about 11. I'm gonna run through the band here real quick, cause why not?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the lead guitar player is named Jace Doverspike, and he is from San Antonio, Texas. He goes to Texas Tech, and man, some of his influences are like Dimebag Daryl, who's a metal guy, and he's a metalhead. Jace is a metalhead, and so you'll hear that come out in his guitar playing.
Yeah.
But he is a good guy, and I love old Jace Doverspike. Now the drummer is Jamie Wood, and he is from the Austin area, just north of Austin. Um, and boy, he is 31 years old. He's older than everyone else. Everyone is 23 to 21. And so he is older than everyone else, but he is the backbone to the band. And so he is the one that keeps the band together.
Hmm.
And
That's cool.
into a talkback mic, and so he's telling us what to do because we have in-ear equipment, and he's telling us what to do. So that's Jamie. He's the backbone. We call him the Admiral because he truly is. And then Emma, who is the tour manager. She makes sure that everything's in check, and she is a lovely lady, and she's awesome. She makes sure that if you're gonna come watch us when we're in Illinois, she's going to be the one who's going to give me your ticket so I can give it to you. Things like that. It's like she makes sure the hotel arrangements are in line. She sends the schedule, the itinerary. And so she's the mother of the group, kind of. And then there's Kylie, who's the photographer. And she's awesome. She takes some great pics. And I post them. Y'all can go see him on my Instagram at Aiden Stobaugh Music. Uh, and I'll plug that one more time at Aiden Stobaugh Music. Anyways, and then
Okay.
there's Tice, the lead guy. He's awesome. I love me some Tice Dilk, and I wouldn't be where I am without him. He's a great voice. That's all I can say. He's awesome.
His voice is insane.
It is awesome. It is. They can do anything they want with that. I mean, he is going to be a big, big name. He's going to be here for a long time, and it's because of that lovely voice. Now, the next person in the band is Garrett Nelson. Garrett plays fiddle and lead guitar, and he is just a cool cat. And he's from Lubbock. And Tice is actually from Melrose, New Mexico. And so he's a New Mexico boy, born and raised. And, he's maybe playing in Texas, but New Mexico means a lot to him, and that's for sure. He's living back out there now. He was living in Fort Worth, Texas, but he moved back home. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Home is where the heart is,
Oh yeah.
And so he can go where he wants. Now Sam is the guitar tech, and he makes sure that our guitars are tuned, everything's set up correctly, plugged in. He does all that, so I don't have to. And he's kind of the main roadie. And then there's Leighton White, who's from Lubbock. Most of these people are from Lubbock, and he makes sure that the sound. He's the sound guy. He runs the sound, and he does a damn good job, man. He does a damn good job. He's going to work out on the road for Treaty Oak, and so I don't think he's going to be with us, but he has been, and he's one of my damn good friends. We hit it off from day one when I met him, so he's awesome. And then there's going to be another uh, person who's running lights, um, and his name is Jacob, and not Jacob Rogers, but a different guy. And I haven't met him, but I think it's gonna be a good time. He's gonna do good, and we're supposed to have a steel guitar player here soon, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be coming on or not. I think it'd be fun to have a steel. We did have a harmonica player, Owen Burton, but he had to go back to the ranch, and he couldn't commit himself to driving 12 hours from New Mexico every weekend to play these shows. And I understand it. And he was one of my best friends, still is. I still talk to him often. But I miss me Owen Burton, that's for sure. So that's the band. I just ran through it right there.
There you go. So I know you learned bass and that, and you got hired as Tice's bass player. So, Buddy Holly, because there's a documentary on YouTube, and I'm a big documentary guy of old country and that. And so I was watching, I believe it's CMT Inside the Fame of Waylon.
Okay.
And Waylon and Buddy, they were best friends until the crash that killed him, Big Bopper, and Buddy Holly. So, and Richie Valens, I'm pretty sure also.
Yeah.
So then that crash prompted Waylon to quit music, but also the bass thing. Okay, I'm getting off track. I like telling stories. Anyhow, the so Buddy had a dispute with his original band, the Crickets, so he hired Tommy Alsop and Waylon. So he went in the room and threw a bass at Waylon. He caught it and he said, "You got 2 months to learn that thing." So did Tice do the same thing to you?
He pretty much did the same damn thing. I was not good at bass when Tice uh, first said you're hired. I was trying my best to be the best I could, and when I sent those videos, it took about 10 takes to get it good, and so that's just kind of funny. Uh, but I have grown as a bass player, and I have learned so much and have gotten so much better in this short 6 months that I've really been playing it as my number one instrument. And so I've definitely grown as a musician too. I've learned new chords that I never even thought about. And so, I really am glad that I have taken the time to learn this other instrument. So I do love the bass guitar.
There you go. So, what was your guys' craziest road story so far?
Oh man,
That is appropriate to say.
yeah. Here's a crazy one that's appropriate to say.
Emphasis on that.
Yeah, because there's probably I gotta really think because I'm already starting to forget some that have happened. But okay, here's one. When we played a show out in Gerald, Texas, at this place called the Cactus Cantina, and it had this outdoor stage. And it was we had a guy. Shout out my brother from Georgia, Kenny Whitmire. One of my favorites. He's got a song coming out called "I Gave Her the Moon," and it has gone
Also,
viral.
yeah. But also, Me Being Me, which was out, and the day it came out, it was on repeat. But anyway, sorry for interrupting, but
So no, you're good. I have a set. I have the first set list that Kenny ever played. Me being me on. I have that set list in my memorabilia collection. He signed it, and I have some good film photos of him and all this good stuff. Um, but what Kenny was opening the show, and just the night before, we were playing a show in Stephenville, but it had it rained so hard that a fire started across the street. This was a rural spot called the Twisted J Live, and a fire had started, and there wasn't power for the show, and it was raining so hard that we went and played a show with no power and no lights in the little dance hall they had there, and there were about 100 people shining their flashlights, and that was so much fun. That was a crazy story. But fast forward to Gerald. Gerald is in a mud pit. This place we're playing. It is a big ranch that has gravel mud roads, and it was pissing rain. It was projected to piss rain and had pissed. It had been pissing everywhere in Texas the day before, and so we get there, and it is muddy, and the van is kind of stuck in the muck there. But we get out, we unload everything, put it on the stage. We get 30 minutes into the set, and there comes a storm cloud that is bigger than anything I've ever seen. It looked like Darth Vader's Death Star. It was a big damn cloud, and it starts hammering rain. We have to stop the show, get all this equipment off. We put it into the van right as it starts to rain. Right as it starts to rain, we put all this equipment in the van, and they have these four-wheelers that they put us on, and they drove us to the house where we were staying, which was accommodated for us on the ranch. So it's piss and rain. It's the end of the world. We're on these four-wheelers going through these mud with all our bags on our back and stuff, and we get to the house, and it's locked, and
key.
there's no key in sight. There's nothing. There's no cover. There's no porch cover. So it's just raining. It's just raining hard. We're out in the middle of the ranch, and this guy Junior is trying to make these phone calls, trying to find out where this key is, because it is getting everything soaked, and there's no answer from the owner of the property. And so this goes on for 20 or 30 minutes, man. It is bad, bad rain. We're getting poured on. Everyone's soaked. The phones are soaked. Everything is messed up. And then here comes our harmonica player, with his cowboy hat, and he had run up the trail, the muddy trail, about a mile and a half, and he was holding the damn key.
What the
And,
hell?
and and we're like, what the hell? Because that four wheeler wasn't making it through the mud. It was stuck. It was stuck. And so we're like, oh my god, oh my god. So it gets worse. We get into the house, and we go to the bathroom that has the only shower, and there is sewage and shit and piss coming up from the drain, and it was just like that because it was flooding, and we're like, what the, what
You,
the hell?
you can be unfiltered. It's fine.
Okay, well, we're like, what the fuck? And so, it just was, the story gets, bad to worse. And so that's probably one of the funniest stories. And Kenny, I have this vision of him just holding his head in his palms, like, oh my god. Because he was like, I'm calling the first shower. I'm the first shower. And I was like, okay, you can have it, man. I was joking with him right then and there because there was sewage everywhere. But yeah, that's one of the funny stories.
Oh, damn. That's funny as hell.
Yep.
Uh, so, uh, so I know you learned bass and all that, but what was your first guitar?
That's a great question. My first guitar or the first guitar that I ever played?
Yours. Oof. Hang on. It cutting out a little bit.
You there, Cash? It's cutting. It just cut
Yeah,
out. You
I
just
don't
cut
know
out
what
there.
happened. Your first guitar, yeah.
My first guitar. Well, my first guitar was a Fender Telecaster,
Oh, hell yeah.
and it's because I wanted to play like Luther Perkins.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a Squire, nothing too fancy, a $400, $300, $200 guitar, and I wanted to learn, and that was my first guitar. But my first guitar that meant a lot to me was my graduation present from high school, and that was my Martin 1968 0016C. It's a mouthful, but that thing is a beast. I still play it to this day. Maybe I'll get a song or two with it here in a second. But yeah, that's Rusty. That is my first really real guitar, named after the late great Rusty Weir, who's
Hell yeah.
one of my heroes. Y'all need to go check that guy out. He's kind of the reason I'm doing all of this, and he's my hero. I never met him, but I miss the guy. And that's kind of, with Waylon and Johnny and all those guys too, I never met him, but I miss him.
Yep.
And I miss him because I didn't meet him, I missed out. But yeah, so that's kind of my first guitar, and I still have both of those guitars, and I probably will keep them for a long time. So.
That's awesome, man. I was gonna, before you mentioned your 68, I was going to ask, I was like, so how'd you get that 68? But you mentioned it. So, I, I'm guessing you already will answer this, but your favorite guitar out of your collection, my guess would be Rusty, if you had to say.
Oh, there's no question, and there is no other sound that you get. It sounds like Trigger when you plug it in. It's got
Yeah.
one of those
Prismatone pickups.
Prismatone pickups. Yeah, and I just bought one of those new ones that they had. That there's a new business that has come out with some, and I put it in my guitar, and man, it sounds beautiful. And so that's, it's Rusty and Willie Nelson combined, and that's kind of my two big influences.
Uh, Speaking of that, I'm actually gonna start saving up some money and buy an old Martin nylon and then put one of them Prismatone classic pickups you just talked about in there so I could sound it like Trigger, and then I'll keep it as my baby, but it will have some wear. Damn sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of what mine is. It has a big old, it has kind of indents, kind of like Willie's, because I do pick it very similar to him. He has been very significant in me learning guitar, and I pick solos, very similar to how Willie plays. So
Hmm. You do the footer just like him, dude.
yeah, oh I know,
Oh hell.
I know.
So, what was your first show like when you played with Tice, or
Oh,
solo? Like one of the two, whatever you want to answer.
that's those are good. Those are good. I'll give you I'll give you three answers because I'll make them quick. The first show I ever did solo was at my school, and I think it was the perfect place to do it because school is a place for learning, you know, and it was a learning experience for sure. It was at the open mic. We had an open mic, kind of like a talent show, but I managed to put together a band of me, Barrett, um, one of my good friends, Kailash, who was a Indian fella. He still is an Indian fella, and he was classically trained on piano. So he didn't have a lick of country in him for playing piano. But hell, if he wasn't playing like Sister Bobby by the time I was done with him, he could play. He was playing country. Took one day for me to convert him, and I had this other girl who could play drums, and we just did two songs, and by the end of it, we had him dancing. It was fun, and that was my first ever gig, solo. Now, my first ever gig with Tyus was very, very nerve wracking. It was at Tannehill's, uh, uh, Tannehill's, what was it called? I think Tannehill's, I don't know. It was just called Tannehill's in Fort Worth. And it was a big venue, man. Bigger than I had ever been to, bigger than I'd ever seen. Fits about 3,000 people in there. And we get news. We go. It was the food that they had provided for us was the best food we've had since for a show. It was amazing, and that was the first show, and it was a big deal. The whole label was there. Everyone's family was there. It was a grand, grand time, and it was the kicking off the Ty Stelk tour, and we get news from the owner. He brings in this big banner and jackets for us, and you only get them if you sell them out. If you
What?
sell out the venue, and we sold out the first show we ever played,
Damn, that's
and
badass.
and we got these jackets that say Tanner Hills. I'll send you a photo so you can put it in, and and we got this all these posters and all this cool stuff, and we sold it out. And when I walked up there, boy, I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I had never seen that many people looking at me, and but I was having fun, and it was the first time I had ever played bass in a show, and it was great. I mean, it really was great. I remember after feeling like, man, I'm so glad I took this risk to be in this band and learn a new instrument. I mean, it was just a big old time, and I couldn't stop smiling. So that was the first time. Now I'm gonna tell you a little bad story about a gig. This is kind of my only bad experience with playing gigs. This was when I was solo, and that old Bryson guy, he called me up. He said, Aiden, this is last spring, spring of 25. He said, Aiden, I've got a show for us to play at this place called, man, what was it called? It was out in Breckenridge, Texas, at the, I want to say it was um, something barn. It was, let me look it up here so I don't get it wrong. Um, it was called the Canyon Road Barn and Grill, and Bryson said, "I want you to play lead," and he hired this guitar player. We went out there, and I played a few songs, and people started leaving.
Damn.
And the owner walks up to the stage, and I thought he had a request. No, it was the check. And 4 songs in, he told us to get the fuck out because people were leaving and he was losing business. And so not every gig is good. They didn't like old Aiden Stobaugh, and that's okay. And so I got fired right then and there. But
Shit.
that is part of the music business, you know. It's not all smooth sailing, and it sure has been a lot better when you're not doing it just for show, and you're doing it professionally, and you're actually made out to, you're getting paid to play professionally, and so there's just little ego checks that happen in your career, but that's all part of it, and so it has made me a better musician, and it sure humbled me, you know.
Uh, what would be your dream place to play if you could pick?
Well, that's a great question. Um, I think a lot of kids my age would say that their dream place to play in country music would be Red Rocks or something. That's a very cool venue up in Colorado. But that's not for me. Um, I'm into playing a little bit more historic places. And so I'm just trying to think of what's still around that I would want to play at. Huh. I don't really know. I think I would say that we've played John T. Floor's Country Store, which is where Willie played a lot
Yeah.
back in the day. We played Kane's Ballroom in Tulsa, which is one of the big ones that you know people uh, played back in the day. Hank Williams and all those guys. I think it'd be cool to play the Opry, even though I'm not a fan of Nashville. I think it'd be cool to stand on that same stage where all those legends have, just to say I've done it. Um,
Not to
Now I don't
brag,
know
but
if
I
I'm go.
have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You stood on that stage?
Oh yeah, in the circle and everything.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Well, yeah. So I don't know. I think that we'll see. I still kind of need to figure that out. So
Um,
anything else?
I'm trying to find because it's in no particular order. Uh, how long have you been playing guitar?
Well, it's been about 6 years now. I started in 2020, 2021. So 5 or 6 years. Yeah,
I've been
I
playing
should be a whole
for
lot better. Yeah.
so.
Well, do you want me to play you a song?
Sure,
If I play the people a song? Okay.
let's do it.
I'm going to do one, guys. And this is a song that probably means the most to me. It really does. It is a good song that I wrote with a guy named Nooney Ibrahim, and he's my writing partner. You know, if I'm going to write a song, that's my go-to guy to write with. We are two potatoes in the bunch. We are very good at writing a song together, I think,
I
and that's
agree.
all that really matters. That's all that really matters. If I think it's good, then that means the most to me. So here's a song that it's called the Rio Grande, and this was written in 1530. I don't know. He's written in one night. Every song I write is written in one night, and this is it. It's called a Rio Grande, and it's short, but it's I wouldn't call it sweet, but it's something in the middle. And that sun will leave you pining for a will to live. But I lost that so long ago. And the songs of the coyote remind me of a love I no longer know. And I've been seeing visions of you dance across the sand, coming closer to me and giving me your hand. But I can't love a woman who's loved another man. So I shot you down by the Rio Grande, by the Rio Grande.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Y'all go check out Aiden Stobaugh on all platforms. Well, on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everything.
Hey, one day we're gonna have an album out. I just say Aiden Stobaugh or Mr. Aiden Stobaugh with Halfway to Texas or something.
Here's a song that Mr. Aiden Stobaugh wrote that he says that I kept alive, but I don't know what he's been smoking. But anyhow, take it away, brother.
It's called Halfway to Texas by Morning. I'll be halfway to Texas by morning, just a hoping and toking along. I'll be listening to wailing while the brakes are failing, and I'm hoping that cash comes along.
You don't want that.
I'll be halfway to Texas by morning, just listening and writing my own songs. I pissed off a trucker by burning some rubber, Lord. I'll be halfway to Texas by dawn. I'll pick.
Yes, sir.
Yeehaw! I'll be halfway to Texas by morning, Lord, 'cause it is the place I wanna be. I'm going back to Grandma's and I'm listening to that old podcast called Redneck TV. Alright, I'll be halfway to Texas by morning, hoping and toking along. Be listening to wailing while the brakes are failing, and I'm hoping that Cash Shreeves come along. Alright, and I'm hoping that Willie comes along.
Hell yeah.
All
brother.
right.
Hell yeah. There you go.
That's great.
What was your family's reaction to wanting to be a musician?
Well, I think at first, it was just a hobby. When I was doing this TikTok stuff, they were like, "Oh, that's cool, man. You're getting better." My dad was like, "Hey, you're getting pretty good. That's awesome." And then when I told him that I was going with Tice and that we were going to play these shows, my mom was super supportive and excited. She was like, "Oh my God, you're a superstar!" All this stuff. And my dad, he was like, "You need to stay in school, son. You need to do this. You need to do that." He wasn't too supportive of it until the first time I saw him kind of shift his opinion was when we played that first sold out show with Tice. I remember him. He walked up through the whole crowd and he cut his way to the front, and he was sitting right there just smiling and shaking his head like, "Yeah, okay," all right, I'm on board. And so now I'm doing online classes, and he's supporting that, and they support me fully. I'm lucky to have parents at a young age because I'm only 21 who are supportive and who want me to follow my dream, even if it only lasts a year or 2 years or however long. School and if I don't finish school, it can always be there to come back and finish. And so that's kind of what they truly believe in, and I'm glad because I'm glad I get to pursue this. So yeah, that was their reaction.
There you go.
Everyone's been awesome. My grandmother, she is so excited. She got to see us play on New Year's Eve with Hudson,
Wow.
uh, and she was front row. I got them front row seats. Everyone was standing up, but they were off right to the side of the thing, and the best seats in the house, right there, man. And it was just a grand old time. Uh, I couldn't have asked for a better New Year's Eve. It was a great memory. I'll never forget looking off to the left of the stage. I'm on the far right, and just seeing them watching and smiling and videoing, and then
Oh,
looking out and seeing 3, 4, 5,000 people singing along and dancing and clapping. So that's why I do it.
yeah.
Is for moments like that and
Well,
to get to share it with people. So I'm excited to see you when we go to Illinois. That's for sure. I'll make sure to get you a pair of tickets or however many you need. So you can come watch us. So
but also, kind of on your boat, I have a very supportive family of what I want to do, and also, mom's fully supportive. Old man, he's like, you need to stay in school, but uh, anyhow, I uh, I'm not really planning on going to college right now as it sits, but
yeah,
at least because I want to give my full shot of trying to quote unquote make it so that I can at least try and pursue my dream. And then if that doesn't work out, then I could always go back and do school or go into like ag stuff or something like that. So I just at least want to
for sure.
try and pursue it. But uh, this is the last question of the episode. So, what is the best piece of advice you could give to somebody that's trying to be in the business, or best piece of advice you have gotten?
Man, those are great questions. All the questions have been superb. So props to you, man.
Thanks.
Um, Now, the best piece of advice that I have ever gotten was from a guy named Larry Watkins, who was Rusty Weir's manager, and he managed some other guys. He was actually going to be Willie's manager. They flew him out to L.A., but he said, "I'm not doing it. I'm loyal to Rusty." And he told me that exactly what you said, and I'm glad that you said this. Aiden, you're in the music business now. The music business isn't just fun and games. It's about money. It's a business. And so you need to look at it that way. If you're going to be in the music business, there is some sort of professionalism that needs to be there um, on whatever level you're doing it. It can be if you're playing in Nashville and they're making you dress up on the Opry, you got to do it. It's just little things like that. He said, treat it like a job. Uh, because that's what it is for you. That's what you're doing. You're working a job, and you have to be serious. And you know, and he said, make sure to stay in school. That is the advice that I've got. Now, the advice that I would give someone who is trying to get into the music business is to take a risk. Do something that you don't want to do. Really want to take risks. Some people, like yourself, you're always on live. You're always, that's a risk. Just putting yourself out there. I would qualify that as a risk. And so do stuff that maybe your gut is telling you, oh, you don't want to do it, but do it. Go out there and play that solo show 5 hours away. Go out there and, just meet new people and network and bring something to the table. In hell, if you're not, if you can't play guitar, then hell, you learn another instrument. You know what I mean? Like it's just if you love music, then make it your passion, make it your life. Treat it as a job, and do the best you can. And that's all I can say as for the advice. Go with the flow. Be level-headed. Be someone that someone wants to work with. Um, and most of all, just be kind to everyone you meet.
That's what I
Uh,
always
there's
try to do.
no there's no there's no point in being mean to folks.
No,
Uh, and kicking them when they're down, even or when they're not down. It's just you want to be a nice, easygoing person and say hello to everyone, and take a risk. That's what I say. Take
yeah.
your risk
I try.
every time you get a chance.
Yeah. I try and do a lot of those things you said by keeping level-headed, being professional, uh, do it, trying to meet new people, working on networking, all of that, so that I know the skills, so that when I do eventually get to a certain level, for example, you guys, I at least am not a complete fool in that aspect. But also, uh, the best piece of advice musically I've ever been given
Uh huh.
is actually given by you. Uh, trying to say, never lay your guitar down, play what you love, and if they don't like it, they can damn sure get their money back, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and I think that you're on your way. When I saw that you had those 70 people in the live, that made me smile ear to ear. It was a great time to see you have a little success like that.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I had
And
70,
so let's
then 80, then 9. I think I got up to 90.
yeah.
But
Well, I know you can do it again. You just got to keep working at it. Keep practicing, and you'll get there, Hoss. You're damn good on that guitar. You've
thank
gotten
you.
a lot better,
Thank you.
and I can definitely tell. So you're doing a good job, and it's great to do the podcast with you. And we'll cut it right there.